Hey guys, my name is Mark from Erickson Machine and Performance. I wanted to show everybody the different pistons that are offered for the Yamaha platform. Honestly, this is about any power sports. We got WSM, Pro X, Wiseco, and Wossner. The last two on the end, Wiseco and Wossner, are forged pistons. Forged pistons are great. Instead of a cast piston where they basically pour into a mold and it solidifies, they pop the piston out and they machine it, which this would be a cast piston. They end up taking a die, they take a hot piece of aluminum, they take a massive press, they whack it, and they end up getting a billet. The billet they end up machining afterwards, and you end up with one of these two gems. The great thing with these is they're significantly stronger and about the same weight. They can take more exhaust gas temperature than a standard cast piston before they fail, but they do need to be set up accordingly. So, in general, these are going to end up being, a little over 1,000th looser than these other three. So we'll start off with the cast pistons. So we got WSM Standard, WSM Platinum, and Pro X. So all three of these actually use the same piston rings, which are nice, just like OEM. Basically an OEM replacement. WSM, these two are slightly less expensive than a Pro X. In general, you can end up getting a piston kit, which is the pistons, gaskets, top end bearings, everything you need to do the job, for about the price of two of these pistons alone. The main difference between them, when you look over here, I took some weights of everything. So this piston and this piston are exactly the same weight. The only difference between the two of them ends up being this coating. So it's a friction coating. It helps with lubrication. It's a nice benefit. It really does help with wear. Especially if an engine overheats a little bit. A lot of times this coating will actually get rubbed off but not actually affect the aluminum of the piston. Save you a rebuild. Other than that, these two are basically identical. When you go to the Pro X, almost the same casting method, everything like that, but it's slightly lighter. Actually, the Pro X piston is one of the lightest pistons up here. The only one that's slightly lighter is the Wiseco Ultralight, Pro-lite. Weight on this. So this piston, total weight, you end up with pistons, ring, pin, everything. You end up being 436.2 grams. Same with this. This ends up being 433.3 grams. When you're talking, 30 grams on the setup, if you're running a race boat, it's one thing. That may help minimally. Other than that, on a stock application, you're really not going to see the difference. And, spend your money as you want in general. Most of the rebuilds I do for stock rebuilds are one of these two pistons. Or, limited or stock race skis will end up going with something like this where you can't go with a forged piston. So if we come over here, we have the three forged pistons. These three, honestly, are the best pistons in the business, in my opinion. I've used a lot of Wossner lately. Great piston, basically identical to Wiseco, other than it's got the friction coating, just like the Platinum Pro X. Very, very nice forging, very nice machining on the inside to relieve weight. This piston is lighter than the standard Wiseco, but not lighter than the Pro-lite. When you look at the two, you can see the main difference is the machining on the side. So this is basically just to relieve some weight, which is what they did with a Pro-lite. So it really comes down to dollars and cents and what you're looking for in your application. These pistons end up being, $110 to $125 a piece. We do offer piston kits for all of them, which comes with gasket kits, top end bearings, and the works. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit us up. Be happy to set you up with any of these piston kits and machine them to size for you. Well, here is the data sheet. You can look at all the different weights of all the different things. I weighed the clips, the rings, the pin, and then the piston size, which you can actually see. The cast pistons are slightly larger, which is for that clearance issue because the forged pistons expand more because it's a compressed aluminum. So it's actually more aluminum in that area, which is why it expands more, which is why you need more clearance. So when it heats up, it doesn't lock the motor up. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to hit us up at Erickson Machine and Performance. Thanks for checking this out.